Podcast Twins. I'm Drew. That's Vince.
Once again, it's on, baby.
Here we go.
It's springtime in the world. And so what's happening
Tell
in the
them
spring?
what to do first.
You know what?
Come
You're
on.
right.
Do your thing.
Please, everyone, stop right now. Click the like button, subscribe. Make sure that you're doing that on YouTube. Make sure that you follow us and share this information with everybody else. Don't forget to click the little bell icon so to give you notifications whenever we post something, all of our clips and everything from here. Follow the Podcast Twins on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, every other platform you can possibly think of to follow the Podcast Twins on. Please do it. And don't forget to listen on Spotify.
All right, there you go. Now you can do your intro too.
Hey,
Come
listen,
on, tell
man,
them about spring.
It's springtime, man. Everybody's happy across down here we've been living life good because it's South Florida.
We had the best winter, if you call it winter, in probably 15 years.
But these people across the country, they're starting to get excited because now the snow is melting away. They're able to see the ground. They're peeking outside. The days are getting a little longer, so they're pretty much excited.
Their golf courses and tennis courts are back open and operational.
They're open. It's still muddy, but they're happy to be outside. But for us down here, listen, life is good. Like you said, we had a great winter, played a lot of good golf. Weather was outstanding. But, also spring kicks off spring training. And so I had a plethora of opportunities this spring to go out and watch MLB do their spring training, man, up there in Jupiter, Florida, where we got to watch, that's the home of the Marlins and the Cardinals, and both teams are in permanent transition. The Marlins always in transition, but for the first time, we're watching the Cardinals struggle a little bit in transition, where they only have one or two of their major stars left.
So what's cool, like, outside of the baseball game that you saw? Like, what's the crazy stuff that happens that we want to know? Give us the behind the scenes, because we all know what baseball is, but what's really happening? But you were in the dugout, you were sending us pictures. Yeah. Give me some meat.
So let's start with the people that come to see this. So the difference in fans. Obviously, we live in South Florida. Everybody that's here is from somewhere else, so they don't really have that affinity for the Marlins like that. They don't follow. But St. Louis, those people schedule their vacation around spring training, and they get out of here because you can tell them, boy, they pasty white. They've been in the house all winter long, and when they do come out for the second day, they look like little lobsters. You can always tell. But anyway, they got real faithful fans. So to see them come out and they do too much sun too fast, so that's pretty comical.
Yep. I got a close friend from St. Louis originally that now lives in San Fran.
Okay.
And she and her husband and their two boys come down. I get to see her once a year.
That's it, because they come for spring training.
And we go up to Jupiter and we hang out with them for the day after they've gone to games 3 days in a row.
Because they are very serious about that. So
Katie is a diehard
and
Cardinals fan.
And they travel well, and so it's good. So we got to see like the Yankees and the Yankee fans. So it became the Bronx and Jupiter for that day. It was crazy.
It's already the Bronx and Broward anyway.
And so then you had the Mets come through. So all of the fans were just different brand of people, and I think that's what the funny part of it is. We got Houston, so their fans are even different. So now they're in these, they're yelling because it's only like 4,000, 5,000. Well, actually, it's 6,500 seats in there.
Okay.
But they're yelling back and forth. So when you have a Cardinals versus the Yankees, man, that's real. Super fan versus super fan. So it was interesting, but to watch the interworkings of, first of all, it being in the dugout looking at these kids, because I'm like, I got to talking to a couple of guys and was like, yeah, man, I played here and did that
19,
and other stuff.
20,
and
22,
they was like
23.
And they're looking like, and I'm like, wait a minute, what year were you born?
2006.
Like 2002. I was like, man, get the hell away from me right now, man. I was like, man, we got to just talking about that. And I'm like, my God, so if you want to feel old, go down in the spring training dugout with these guys. But either way, most of your major leaguers right now.
A guy that was born in 2002.
2002, so man. This is crazy. These kids was 2004, 2005. We had one kid, 2006, which made him, 19 years old? He's an awesome kid. He's already on the big league 40-man roster. So to me, that was the funniest thing as we were over there, spitting seeds and talking smack down in the dugout with these guys. It's just very interesting to hear and to hear what's happening in their world. Because I don't understand none of it. Like, even some of the music they wanted to hear and all this stuff, I was like, man, who in the hell are these people that they're listening to? So different generation, but again, it's still baseball. But my people were the coaches, because they were people I watched when I was in college and stuff like that. So, and the docs, the doctors of the squads, they talking about how the injuries differed from that era to this era because of the way they're swinging and that whole little thing. So anyway, so
did they try to goad you out onto the field for a couple of swings or
no,
anything?
No, man, no, absolutely not. Because the bad part is I probably would have taken it, but no.
I know, that's why I
probably would have taken it, but
if I was there, I'd have been like, Vince, get up there and hit some, man.
Nah, so but yeah, so it was cool, man. It was very interesting to see people come down from all over the place into a normal sleepy town like Jupiter and just take over this place for like 2 months, man. It's pretty cool. And so usually as that wraps up, March Madness is getting into the fat part of it. So right now we're in the Sweet 16 now, correct? Yeah. So we're getting to see some good hoops out there right now, man. I just got my heart broken. Opened up my social media yesterday and saw that JuJu Watkins tore her ACL for USC, and that girl got mad game. She is amazing. So hopefully get well soon, JuJu, because she got 2 more years to go. So
did you just start with the ladies
I sure
college basketball?
That's
got to be a first.
I absolutely did.
All right, record-breaking podcast Twins episode. Let's go.
To me, she's the best player in college basketball in my book.
All right.
Player, period. She's the most dominant player that I've watched. And again, I haven't watched the whole ton of ball. But last year, her freshman year, she caught my attention. And then this year, I have watched about 4 of her. Man, she's just absolutely dominant.
So Caitlin Clark's going to have some competition in a few years?
Well, she already got competition, man. Right now, Caitlin Clark rolled into a competition laden. They're happy that Caitlin Clark is there because Caitlin Clark brought the money with her notoriety because she was doing things that hadn't been done by somebody who looked quite like her.
Okay.
So she brought the money and notoriety. So those other players like A'ja Wilson, who is probably the baddest basketball player on the planet.
Who's she?
Ooh, my point exactly. A'ja Wilson.
I mean, don't judge me because I don't know.
Judging.
I don't watch the NBA. I haven't watched the NBA ever. I don't know.
I get it, but I was just saying my point exactly is that the way she plays basketball, she should be a household name. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying that, so fortunately with the media attention that came with that girl and the other girl, what's the other one? They had the rival thing. She even got a McDonald's combo meal named after her now. Angel Reese. So the whole thing.
I think you just named all the WNBA basketball players that I could name.
There you go.
If you put me to the test. But go on.
But there are some other players who were in the league that were absolute dominant. But just saying A'ja Wilson because she is by far this generation's best WNBA player that they have seen, multiple time champion. Bad mofo. But again, these players are going to start getting better, and this girl JuJu Watkins is bringing the fire just like that. She will be the next generation. Are you watching
NBA basketball, WNBA basketball games, or just the highlights, or like what's?
I have watched probably in the last calendar year. I probably watched more WNBA games than I have watched NBA games.
Okay, which I don't blame you for because I don't watch the NBA anymore either.
Because at least they hustle, they don't cry, they're not down on the ground begging for fouls. They get up. It's kind of like watching men and women's soccer.
College basketball.
It's kind of like watching men and women's soccer, where the guy's laid out there like he got sniped from the 4th balcony. Boom, then they hit them with the miracle spray. He get up and run away. You don't see the ladies doing that.
So like LeBron James, in other words. That one's for you, Nick D'Alberto.
There it is. So
right.
yeah, man,
I'm taking shots.
We gonna have to sit you down, son.
Taking shots.
We need to put you in therapy.
Sorry, kid.
For all that stuff. We'll get into that. But yes, I can tell you for sure. In the last calendar year, I've watched more WNBA than I have the NBA because
well, now
the
we
NBA
know why. I'll tell you why.
3-point shoot, or dunk, and we don't care how much you miss.
Well, I watch a lot.
No defense.
I watch a lot less TV than most people. So you know what would make me watch the WNBA? There's one thing.
What?
If my daughter says I want to watch the girls' basketball league,
but how's she gonna know?
Well, no, I'm saying but it's no.
But because if you don't watch, how is she gonna ever see it?
But we have if she plays basketball, which she does.
Okay.
Like she does jujitsu as well, and she wants to watch the girls' UFC.
Okay.
So if she says to me, hey, I want to watch the girls' UFC, I'm going to watch it with her, and I'm going to enjoy it, and we're going to make comments and have a blast. Like, that would make it fun for me.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, that would make it fun for me.
No doubt.
Same with ladies golf.
I
mean, watching the women play golf, that's poetry in motion
really
with some
is.
of their swings. It's better to watch than the PGA Tour.
Absolutely.
But, unless my daughter's going to be like, hey, I want to watch that, or my wife says, hey, I want to watch that, I don't think I'm turning it on.
Again, because I watch more TV than you,
Fair.
For sure, and I'm a sports junkie when it comes down to that kind of stuff. So I got to know some of these players. Again, some of these ladies that's been in WNBA for a decade, I remember when they were in college, because again, their game is just different. The only thing they're not doing is really skying through the air, dunking and doing all this crazy stuff, but their skill sets are amazing. I mean, I even go back to when I was in
steroids like the guys all do, and then it'll be more fun to watch, like baseball we talked about with McGuire and Sosa. What if we start beefing them up with steroids? No good? Probably the wrong thing to say.
I wasn't ready for that one.
Probably
although still the best baseball era ever.
Don't do it.
Baseball era ever, but
he didn't say don't do it.
Yeah, best baseball era ever. Saved the game of baseball.
Do we
by
have
the way.
to do like don't take drugs, kids episode?
But no, because the truth is these ladies that are playing college basketball versus 30 years ago when Dawn Staley was playing, who's now the head coach in college, multiple time champion, NCAA champ. The athleticism is just, they were probably better ballers, like street ballers. These girls' athleticism is definitely better. I think that they just keep evolving as each generation. Every 20 years, we're going to see them get better and better and better. And, just genetically, they're going to get together. And I think you're going to see them probably in the next 20 years doing some crazy stuff on the court that you couldn't imagine seeing a lady do on the court. So I do see it evolving. I see it becoming a mainstream sport. The problem is that as men, are we going to be able to get out of our own way to be able to support and watch what they do?
I think there's a bigger problem that we haven't addressed, because that league loses money and is subsidized by the NBA, and I don't know if it's still that way. I think it is.
It is.
So how long do you run a failing business with other people's money? That's a government thing to do, not a corporation thing to do.
Right.
So how long? I mean, I don't know how long the WNBA has been around. I'm sorry.
More than 25 years.
WNBA.
WNBA more than 25 years for sure.
So the NBA's been losing money for 25 years.
Yes.
Theoretically they're in debt, even though they're not, because the NBA pays.
They should probably make them a 501c3 so they can be a
write-off.
But business-wise, but I think the NBA is doing that because they do understand that it's a talent that's out there.
I think our target audience just became men for this episode.
But flip it. With these same women, they go overseas and they get paid very handsomely, which is why they don't get to go home and chill out in the off season. They have to go over there so they can make, where they make millions here, where they make tens of thousands. They can go over there and make a couple of $1 million. They do that for 4 or 5 years. Now they have set their lives up. So it's more appreciated in the overseas market than we do here, and that's just because, again, like I said, men, we don't tend to get out of our own way. No matter how bad the NBA is, it's going to be better because it's men. That's just the way it is.
I'm not there.
I get it. It's okay.
The NBA is not going to get better.
This is an opinion show,
and
that's what it is.
Get better.
But that's the way I see it. But I'm telling you, I've watched these young ladies over the last 5 years for sure. I probably got deeper into it during the COVID years, because
time to watch
TV, time, and I got
sure.
deeper into it, and it definitely sprouted some interest from me at that point. That just said, man, these girls are balling even better than they did back in our day. Because even in college, the baseball teams would go to the games. We go because the girls play first than the boys. Man, we go there in droves as the whole squad. We gonna go there and support them girls because they were not only playing, but we'd make sure they had a good audience. But man, we watching these girls because they could really play. It was really entertaining, and so I've always been a fan of that and seeing females out there doing their thing. But again, see, it's the whole flip side to it. Like I got 2 daughters and a son. I couldn't shy away from one to give to the other. So, and all my kids were athletes. So, I mean, it became a situation. Even now, my oldest has been a firefighter for almost coming up on 5 years. Male-dominated world.
Yeah.
And, but again, the only way you're going to be able to make it through that male-dominated world is by being athletic. Mm-hmm. And that athleticism pulls you through. So, I'm all for young girls in sport. Yeah. Because the body's meant to be moved in the first place, and the body's meant to be strong. Mm-hmm. Now that you got Dr. Gabrielle Lyon and all these other people talking about the trick to longevity, especially for females, is to have strong legs. You can equate the quality of life to the strength of your legs. So you take that to the next level and you start adding the proteins, you start doing these other things and training these girls from the time they're young.
Eating a meat-based diet with some meat on the side, and getting good sleep, and working out, and doing
all that good
stuff.
Things, encouraging them while they're young, to me, is priceless, because then you start to see that next level of athlete. Every kid that goes and plays sports, they think, I want to play in high school, hopefully. Yeah. And then when you get to high school, hopefully they have a dream of playing in college. The only problem is that scale gets a little smaller. That's where that pyramid
gets really small after
because
that. Yeah.
Right, if you are fortunate enough to get to play at the collegiate level, you get to find out that your skill level just flattens out, if not is declined. And that's where, hey, now that's where genetics kick in. That's where height, weight, speed, natural, fast twitch muscle. That's where all of that becomes place. But there's always going to be that place for the hard worker. There's always going to be that place. So that's why I love to see the ladies play their sports. To me, they play harder. They give more than what you see on the men's side. To me, and again, that's looking at it from a former player to being somebody who's watching. The effort, it means more to them. To me, because again, I think that they see that the end is going to come a little faster, because you'll see guys 3-4 years after college, they won't go get a job because they're training. They're trying to, still trying to get on there and make it. These young ladies, once it's over, it pretty much is over, and so they got to make a decision, life. Right? So I think that they give more earlier because they know that is going to come to an end sooner. Okay. But again, I love to see it,
And I love watching March Madness. I mean, I watch more TV in 4 days than I do in the next part of the year.
And we got some games coming up here this week that's going to be good. And here I am switching back over to the men's side now.
Where I'm going to start watching. To air this like tomorrow morning.
So yeah, right.
Have a cutout.
Yeah, but this is going to be a cut. This is going to be a cut.
It's going to be a quick one.
But yeah, this is going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these, seeing what happens at the end, because that's the one thing about college that is always good. The games, no matter if it starts out as a 20-point deficit, it's going to come down to a 2 to 3 point situation.
But on last year, the year before, for the past 20 years, it's been nothing but upsets, right? You
Right.
see so many until the end when it's a lot of chalk in the Final Four most of the time. I would say for upsets, this is one of the worst years we've had in I don't even know how long.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of chalk.
Yeah.
There's a couple of underdogs left.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Well, because you get at the bottom of your screen, upset alert,
and then none of the upsets, a lot of the upsets didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Colorado State, Maryland was my favorite. I just was, and then that super travel at the end, which we talked about before the show.
Yeah.
And my son, Nick, there's another Nick reference. He who doesn't admit anything's a travel ever.
Well, because he's not old enough to remember what traveling looks like.
No, but he said right as it happened, not in slow motion. Didn't that guy just travel?
Yeah.
And they showed it in slow motion.
But the mere fact that he had to ask, did that guy just travel?
Well, but I mean, the fact that he noticed it when he never notices travels tells me that call was blown.
That means how excessive it really was. Hey, listen, man, it's going to be good. I like to come down to it, but I tell you what, right before I was coming here in the car, I was listening to what's his name on the podcast? But anyway, they were talking about the one and done versus going straight from high school and who it benefits.
Well, does it matter anymore with the NIL? They're changing teams every year anyway.
That's kind of the flip side of it. In other words, he said this was what's his name that
was it your boy Skip?
No, not Skip. No. This wasn't no Skip or Fannin. This was anyway. Played with Washington. Great player. Gilbert Arenas. This was Gilbert Arenas' show, and they were talking about that and was talking about Bronny and how people was like, oh, he should have stayed in school. No, he's just a G League level player right now because he's dominating the G League. It's not translating to the big show when they bring him up. So their philosophy is no, hell no, he wasn't a college player. He's showing by dominating in the G League, which is a level above college, that he's a pro level player. He just got to get polished enough to be able to handle it and do it full time at the top scale.
He might have had a heart issue.
Well, yeah, he did have a little hole in his heart. He sort of died, like right in front of people. But again, they wanted this kid to come back like Superman and in a year's time come in and just dominate. Well, I mean, like you said, it takes a little while from dying to come back to being a superstar. But that's what Gilbert was saying on his show is that, look, this kid was not a college athlete. He said the college kids were the kids that are not going to, he said in today's world, not back in the day, in today's world that guy that's in college year 2, 3, 4, and 5, he's there because he knows he's never going to make it to the NBA. And if he does, he's going to be the journeyman to come in for a specific purpose. That's not your top players. He said your top players are coming in one and done. They're coming in one and done. Even with the NIL money, they're coming in one and done. And so I when you start looking at it, I tend to agree, except, and that's on the NBA side. He wasn't talking NFL because NFL money and versus the football NIL money is absolute crazy.
How about Hurley, UConn's coach, absolutely losing it after the game?
I didn't see that.
You saw it. I know Curfton saw it because Curfton's a Gator.
Yes.
So I know Curfton saw it. I mean, he basically said to the Baylor players, I hope they don't F you too, like they F'd us. And then he went off. He was crying in the press conference. I mean, this guy won the championship.
But it's tough when you're on the mountain, man. When you're on the mountaintop.
I get it, but like.
Then you got the UM coach that had to quit because they went to the Final Four and all his players got in the portal.
But that's the way they set it up. They set it up to fail.
Well, that's tough. You coming in, getting this portal money, you moving around, but the Hurleys.
I mean, are they just trying to ruin all sports? I thought we needed the circus and bread to keep us occupied.
We do, but then,
Can't you make it better at least?
Well, there's pimps and hoes in there too.
Oh, here we go. So, the recurring theme of the pimps and hoes returns.
Man, pimps up, hoes down, so they're gonna lure you over here so we can make our team better. You're building a team for every year, which is why it didn't matter that Rick Pitino could go to what?
St. John's.
and the other one, Calipari, went to nobody, exactly. But the smaller schools that he would have never went to Arkansas, but his name is going to be, he can change any program. He can go to FIU and make them a Final Four contender tomorrow because they're going to follow his name. But again, he's only going to be able to build it for a year because kids are going to come in and make that money, either bounce to the NBA because they're really that first round level pick, or they're that second tier that's going to be able to go make more money elsewhere, unless he's going to start bringing the NIL money in. So the whole business of college now is just crazy. It's probably why it's turning me off a little bit, but it's still nothing like watching that talent come through the door, man.
All right.
That talent coming through the door is amazing. So, hey, springtime is exciting.
Flowers are blooming, lovin's in the air, all that crap, something like that.
March Madness is in full swing. Baseball is kicking off this week. Hey, man, listen, this is about to be, now really the fall is my favorite time of year when they get down to NBA Finals, baseball coming out, NBA starting, baseball coming to a close, hockey starting and all that stuff, football kicking off. I think the fall is probably better, but this is a close second for me.
All right.
So, hey, listen, man, this is what we do. We talk about everything.
Well, that and golf courses are going to free up in a few weeks too, because I'm not ragging on them because they're Canadian. I'm ragging on them because they're in my way of booking tee times. But when the Snowbird Canadians and the Northeasterners go back to the north and start playing golf up there,
we can go back out at 10 a.m. and play a decent course again.
You can almost tee off anytime you want when they leave,
listen,
my brother.
That's also why spring is our favorite time, because, we don't care a damn about an Easter bunny, but we know the day after the Easter bunny gets done, we're going to see those car carriers taking those vehicles back up north, and it's a beautiful day.
Well,
and we're just standing behind the trucks.
I do see a lot of houses in my neighborhood that happen to have license plate that say Quebec on them, which have for sale signs in the window or in the yard now. So
for the house or for the car?
The house.
Oh, okay.
No, the car says Canada,
right.
Quebec on it.
Right.
But the house has a for sale sign.
Well, then you got to be careful.
That'll free up some tee times.
Because in a few years, that's what happens with the snowbirds. They got to make a decision when they get too old to travel. Where are they going to stay? It's usually here.
Well, but if their house is for sale now and they already got white hair on top, who knows?
Who knows? All we're saying is that the sooner the Easter bunny goes away, the faster the golf courses open up and we can go get to playing.
Once Lent is over, basically, right? Something like that.
I got a Lent roll in the car.
No, not Lent.
Oh, that one. Oh, my bad. I'm
Lent.
Sorry. I thought you lent me some money earlier. I owed you something back, but okay.
Once Lent is over, that's when the snowbirds kind of typically exit. Although it has
or the
been
marshmallow
cooler.
bunnies.
It's been cooler this year.
It has been. So, but hey, listen, we're trying to, we're not rushing you guys because we love you guys as viewers, but it's time to go experience what the golf courses are like in New York and Jersey and Canada and all those other places outside of here. So
that was a nice way of saying GTF out of our tee times.
Yeah, because hey, look, I may be a reverse snowbird and as I retire, because the summers here are hot, so I may wind up doing the same thing, but we don't know. But as of right now, hey, man, we'll see you guys next year after Turkey Day.
That's great.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of Podcast Twins. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you listen, share, comment. Don't just text us. Comment on the page so we can get this information out to everybody else. My man Drew is Vince.
And don't forget to tell us some topics you want to hear about.
Yeah. Leave them in the comments.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
Now you can exit. Go ahead.
Peace.
All right.